You are about to see an incredibly painful abscess which was hiding under this perfectly normal looking cow's foot. This was 2 weeks ago. I'm going to recap on the trim we did, and we're revisiting her today to see how she's doing. So this cow entered the crush 2 weeks ago and she was in incredible pain, but as you've just seen, when we first picked up her foot it looked like there was almost nothing wrong. We quickly spotted where this abscess was and released a small amount of pus from the area, then began the task of uncovering the cavity so that we could get this cow pain-free and back on the road to recovery. First up was a block. We applied one block and then set about removing that overburdening horn. As you can see, where there is pus or an abscess, there is always a cavity, and in this case, her whole sole decided to separate itself from the corium, which is the bit that grows the horn itself. I worked as carefully as possible to make sure all of the detached horn was removed so that the recovery process could begin. When we reached this point in the trim, it became obvious she was going to need another block so that we could definitely get that sore, affected claw completely off the ground and get her pretty much pain-free. If we take a look from this angle here, we can see where the problem has begun, right up in between the two digits, and then it's tracked down and burst out the white line. So we doused it with iodine and set her on her way. So fast forward 14 days and here we are back at the same farm to pick up cow 363's back right foot. So you can see this is not attached here. Here it's loose, and here look, this is not attached. So we can see there is some congealed pus right there. If we move it out of the way, you can see it just sitting there on the end of my knife. Nice. If we had simply left the cow's foot exactly as it was, that congealed pus you've just seen would have formed a new abscess, and that's why it's been so important to remove all of the loose and detached horn. Yes, there is more detached horn when we're visiting her right now, but that horn has been doing the job of protecting the new horn which is growing underneath. See, there's a cavity in behind this cracked horn. And that dirt is just going to ingress further and further and create even more problems. So we need to get rid of that as well. Right, let's give it a little wash and see how we're doing now. I remember that this part here was what was actually causing the problem, which is why I'm just delicately scraping away the muck from that area. This cow is walking fantastically well compared with the first time we visited her, and actually she probably wouldn't have been pulled out had I not asked specifically for the guys at this farm to draw her off so that I could make sure that progress was good and continue the recovery process. Trimming cows' feet in this way can be a painstaking process, but it is time very well spent. So this hoof horn is growing at about 6 to 7 millimeters every month, which is why it's all managed to regrow in, although admittedly it didn't grow in perfectly. But hopefully now we've removed that and there's no problem going on here, and she should be perfect. I absolutely did not expect this foot to be completely healed. I did expect it to be in the condition we found it, and I'm very happy with the results. I just thought I'd show you this as well. This is her standing on her two blocks. Look at that outer or lateral claw, it's not even touching the ground, which means it's not causing her any pain whatsoever. And that, folks, about wraps it up for today.